stabbed a girl with a pencil.
I have a friend who stabbed a kid with a pencil. He got banned off of every bus in Pasco County.
I also stabbed my sister with a sharpened pencil because she was being a dick. I see you, Talia. She'll never let me live that down. But yeah, so I was just like, fuck this. So I moved with my dad and my stepmom to Vancouver.
Okay.
And I went to a very like nice school in a nice expensive area, but we didn't live in a nice expensive house. So we were like, weren't the cool kids, but kids were like rich.
Right.
They were getting dropped off at school in like fucking limos and shit. I went to the school called Point Grey and it looked like a castle. It's been in a ton of movies they've filmed. Like, it was insane.
Yeah.
But like, it was I don't actually know if that type of wealth would even be known. Like, the houses now start at $30 million in that area. Like, it is insanely money.
Right. Yeah.
And it was just like old money, just weird. So obviously, fuck those people too. So I went to school there and I figured out how to not go to school and forge signatures. So I had like 13% attendance of school, but I had 100% attendance if you looked at my school sheet.
Nice. Okay.
So then they had my teachers have to sign up for it. And then I got caught for forging my teacher's signatures. And then they sent me home with a form for my parents to sign, saying that I got caught with forgery. And I'm like,
yeah.
And then I dropped out of school.
Okay.
So
What?
14.
14.
14-ish. Maybe at the very latest, I was early 15.
Okay.
But
14,
definitely
15.
14-ish.
All right.
And I kicked up my bedroom window one night, and I just was like, I don't want to do this anymore. My stepmom at the time, we didn't have a great relationship.
Okay.
And just didn't see eye to eye. We're from very different places and see the world very differently. And so I was just like, yeah, I don't want to do this. So I left and I lived on the street. I lived with a girl for a little while that I went to school with. I lived under a tree at the school and I lived in I continued going to school.
In like a tent or just literally just...
It's old growth forest.
Okay.
So there was these giant trees and the branches swept under to the ground and you couldn't see under them. So I set up a tent and lived in a tent under that at the school.
Yeah.
And continued to go to school for a little bit. And then one of the girls I went to school with, she was like, oh, come stay with me and my parents. I'll just tell them your parents are out of town. I was like, okay, great. Like a month later, her parents look at her and they're like, are her parents ever coming back?
How long is this space? Yeah.
And so my dad, I was walking one day, I don't know where I was transitioning to at that point in time, but my dad rode his motorcycle past me and stopped and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And so they got me and then I ended up going to foster care, like a respite foster home for a little bit.
Okay.
And then I said, fuck that. And I left that place too because
Did you kick out that window too?
No, that one I just walked out the door. I was like,
yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, in Vancouver, you take a bus everywhere. So you just say, hey, I'm going to this place and you go jump on a bus. I have a backpack because all teenagers have backpacks. I just grabbed my shit and left.
Okay.
If something doesn't serve me, I'm out.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's the point where I first started actually living on the street was right after I lived in that respite foster care house. And then from there, I lived on the street in Vancouver for a little bit. And that was hard.
Yeah.
At that time, I'm like 14 or 15 years old. And there's people that have lived on the street for decades. There's an entire street community that exists. And there's a hierarchy and you have to learn the ins and outs. And there's rules that don't exist in normal people.
Yeah.
And so you have to learn how to navigate that. And you just have to have your circle of people. And there's a lot of stuff you're navigating. You're navigating sexual abuse. You're not navigating men trying to capture you and attack you,
right.
Very, very regularly. I'm a 15-year-old girl. You're living on the street. And there's a lot of times I was put in situations that I shouldn't have survived.
Okay.
There was some strange situations that happened and I have many, many stories of that, but I'm going to be working on my book for what my childhood was really like.
Right.
Yeah. So it was, and then I joined the circus.